Time to wake up. It's Saturday morning. Find some milk and cereal. Grab a bowl and spoon. No, a bigger spoon. Head to the living room and take a seat on the floor while Joseph and Chris present to you Saturday Morning Cartoon!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cartoon Boo! This is a show where we wake up with the Saturday morning sun, popped on the floor with a big bowl of sugary cereal, and watch all your favorite cartoons, both old and new. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
I'm Chris.
Who was that guy? Who was that friend?
I don't know what voice that was.
I was picturing a portly Frankenstein.
Yeah, he was part Santa, part Frankenstein, because we're in that in-between stage. Franken-Santa. We're in that in-between stage where it's like, you know, if only there was a holiday between Halloween and Christmas, but
I'd be really thankful if there was.
Yeah, there's just really nothing worth it, you know? Nothing worth it in between those two.
Nothing I can think of.
So I'm just pulling both in to celebrate.
No associated parade either.
Yeah, nothing. Not a thing.
And this morning, for the final episode of our 20XX Octoonber celebration, we watched perhaps the most terrifying, most spine-tingling, I'm just kidding. We watched Howard Lovecraft and the Kingdom of Madness.
You're welcome. I suggested this one. I felt like we needed to finish this trilogy.
You saved it for me. You wouldn't tell me what it was, but I knew it was going to be bad.
But by bad, you meant good. You knew it would be delicious.
So bad that it's good, but then goes back to bad. Like, that's how bad it is. No, I don't think it's... We'll talk about it because there's so much to talk about. I don't know. There's so little substance to it, but there's so much there. Like, it really gets kind of technical with these, like, all these names it's throwing out. I was having trouble keeping track because I'm not like a Lovecraft aficionado. So it's hard for me. I was watching it with subtitles also. I was like, why are they saying, how do you even say this word? And they would say it, and I would try to repeat it in my head, and I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense with all those letters in there. Why are those extra letters thrown in?
Dude, okay, as somebody that really likes Lovecraft kind of stuff and has read a lot of Lovecraft, and I wouldn't call myself like an expert on it, but I've listened to tons and tons of audiobooks, read a lot of stuff, and I like to absorb a lot of, you know, like extras in that, like things that homage back to Lovecraftian things, or people that, because it's in the public domain, you know, stuff like this that takes it, you know, in another direction or one step further and stuff. That said, I struggled the same way you did because they throw a lot at you in this one, and I don't know if all of this is like hints at certain things, because it's just like there's so many name drops and all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, man, I don't know. There's one in particular that I'm sure that you got and were happy about. Well, I guess we'll see when we get there, but
yeah,
if you didn't get it, I'm gonna get disappointed in you.
Well, yeah, there's some tie-ins in there that I was curious about, some choices they made, but yeah, we'll talk about it once we get there, and I think I know what you're talking about. So the movie Howard Lovecraft and the Kingdom of Madness came out in 2018. Based on the graphic novel of the same name created by Sean Patrick O'Reilly, itself inspired by writings of American horror author H.P. Lovecraft, directed by Sean Patrick O'Reilly, produced by Arcana Studios. This was distributed by Shout Factory, which I actually buy a lot of movies from, so that surprised me that they had this as well.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we watch so much stuff from Shout Factory. It's insane. That's like all I do all day is watch movies from Shout Factory.
Yeah, Shout Factory and or Scream Factory when it's Halloween time.
Yes.
For a short synopsis, after returning from his previous adventure, young Howard Lovecraft must lead an expedition including his father Winfield, Uncle Randolph, and Miskatonic University's Dr. Henry Armitage to Antarctica to prevent the awakening of Cthulhu.
I mean, yeah, kinda. I don't know. Like, I think there's too much going on in this movie to really sum it up in a sentence.
Oh my gosh. Okay. See, I was like, am I just tired? Because it feels like this is such a busy movie for what's supposed to be like a young adult or not a kids movie because there's some
Well,
pretty bad things in here.
Well, that's confusing too. This is supposed to be a kids movie. I mean, that was kind of the point of the whole thing.
It's labeled as a kids movie.
Yeah, they put some stuff in, like the other two movies. I would say, yeah, definitely kids movie. They put some stuff in this one that I'm like, I would not show my kids. No.
Yeah, like when they go into Howard's mind,
That was
like,
messed
what
up.
is this?
Yeah.
Howard, what are you thinking about?
That scene in particular was so screwed up that I'm like, there's no way. Like, you can't show a kid this.
Yeah, that was kind of a messed up scene, and it got my attention, but then there was really nothing afterwards that was anywhere near that kind of screwed up, because I thought it was going to go in a different direction, but whatever. So who are some of the actors who played in this movie? I know a lot of them are from the O'Reilly family.
Yeah, you're going to hear O'Reilly a lot. The voice of Howard Lovecraft was provided by Kiefer O'Reilly, who is actually the son of the creator of this series. Uncle Randolph was voiced by Jeffrey Combs, which, Joseph, would you like to chime in on who Jeffrey Combs is to you?
Yes, Jeffrey Combs is a actor primarily in horror movies, probably best known in Reanimator as Dr. Herbert West, who is also in this movie. But it's not him playing it.
Yeah, the character shows up in this movie, and I will say who that is in just a little bit. Winfield Lovecraft is voiced by Tyler Nickel. Sarah Lovecraft, voiced by Michelle O'Reilly. Spot, a.k.a. Cthulhu, a.k.a. Tutu Humung, voiced by Sean Patrick O'Reilly, the creator of everything. Mr. Howard! There you go. You know, that's the voice I was trying to do when we started that turned into Frank and Santa.
Oh,
and I don't
okay.
know what happened to me. Like, if I had a stroke halfway through trying to speak, or I think it's just this cold or flu or whatever I've got is really getting to me, and I messed it all up. Dr. Henry Armitage is voiced by Mark Hamill. Do they know people? I mean, some of the names I'm about to read, and we knew Mark was in the last one along with some of these others, but I'm just like, how? You remember in I think it was the last one we did, and folks, if you're listening to this, the last movie when we reviewed that one, that was the watch along that is only on YouTube, so you'll have to watch it on YouTube. But do you remember? Was it the first one? I think it was this last one, when they had Ron Perlman in there as the one guy, and he just was just...
Yeah, no, that was the first one.
Okay, he just...
Yeah, where he was Shoggoth.
He didn't want to be there. He's like, who disturbs the sleep of Shoggoth?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, Mark really, he gave a great performance here.
Oh, yeah, Mark was good in this.
He was perfect. I don't know. I don't know what they've got over him. The character of William Dyer was voiced by Nick Wolfhard, older brother to another famous Wolfhard. Dr. Jeffrey West was voiced by Christopher Plummer, returning from the other movies. Herbert West, voiced by Finn Wolfhard, of Stranger Things fame. And then God, this is the one. This is the one, Joseph. This is the one we can never say. Nyarlathotep. I think that's it. Nyarlathotep, voiced by Doug Bradley. So explain Doug Bradley, because I know that's another one you're excited about.
Okay, yes. Another horror movie actor who is primarily famous for his role as Pinhead in Hellraiser.
There you go. So that's the majority of the cast. There's a couple outliers there, but like, frankly, I'm tired of talking about it. Scott McNeil voices some random goons. I love Scott McNeil, but man, like, guys, why? Why'd y'all take this one? I just want to know why. That's all I want to know. What's that podcast? How did this get made?
Yeah.
Should we submit this? Should we be on How Did This Get Made and like go on there and talk about this movie? Paul Schaefer, give us a call, man. Call us up, Paul.
So it was kind of tough to find marshmallows for this because there was like no trivia entered. There was nothing like, I don't know, crazy about it, I guess. Or
it's been out for a while, right? But just no one wants to talk about it.
I mean, only 2 years, but there's just nothing to it. So this, like I said, was based off a graphic novel, a trilogy of graphic novels. This one particularly, Kingdom of Madness, was published in 2013. And in 2014, Howard Lovecraft and the Three Kingdoms was released, which is just a printing of all of the graphic novels in a hardcover book, including Frozen Kingdom and Undersea Kingdom. So we've watched all of them now. We've seen the trilogy. There's no other facts to it, really. That's it, man. Like, those aren't even like trivial. That's just like, okay, so this is basically like marshmallow free. It's like, oops, no mellows.
Oh, gross. You served us up a bowl of grape nuts.
It's just dry cereal, yeah.
Yeah, there's no nuts, there's no grapes. It's just nasty cereal in a bowl.
Yeah, let's talk about this movie. So we start out with a quote. I think the best parts of the movie are the quotes at the beginning and the end. So to the scientist, there is the joy in pursuing the truth, which nearly counteracts the depressing revelations of truth. This is from H.P. Lovecraft. So
here we go.
It really didn't have anything to do with the movie itself, but there's a quote.
Nah, but quotes are cool. I mean, here's the thing is like you could make anything and it's like it could be the most illegitimate, like dumb thing you've ever created. If you slap a quote on there from like an author or something, you immediately get somebody's attention.
Yeah, remember that's what we did for the Nerd Sloth review banner.
Oh,
that we
that's
had
right.
up.
Yeah. We had a whole bunch of quotes from famous people, but the quotes were all out of context.
They were not actual reviews for the show, but they sounded like they were actual quotes.
Yes.
So if you apply them to our banner, it looks like it's about us.
Yeah, and it's not like we hid it either because it would say under the quote who the person was and then what they were talking about. we just put it next to our logo.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good gag.
Oh God. But yeah, it makes your stuff look more legit if there's a quote from somebody. So there you go.
All right. I'm going to ask you, how long did it take you, and if you say more than 30 seconds, to realize who Randolph Lovecraft actually was?
I knew it. It was immediate.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have to talk. As soon as Randolph was on screen, I was like, oh, well, that's Howard from the future.
Right, because
that's
it's
just
literally
H.P. Lovecraft right there.
Exactly. It's just H.P. Lovecraft. So it's not like it was even hidden. It's like, okay, your Uncle Randolph. And then he's not selling himself well either. Like, he speaks very suspiciously like like a future Howard from the future would. So it's like, at no point was I like, I wonder who this guy is. Who is this strange gentleman who no one can remember?
Well, I'll say that one thing that did throw me off about it a little bit was just because there's a prominent character in a Lovecraft story named William Randolph Carter. And so when they introduced this guy as Uncle Randolph, even though he looked just like H.P. Lovecraft, and that was my first thought is, okay, well, that's him. That's just an older Howard. As soon as he said his name's Uncle Randolph, I was like, okay, I wonder if they're just using Lovecraft's likeness for this character, just, as kind of an homage to him. But I wonder if they're gonna, like, this is gonna be Randolph Carter. But then when he said his name was Randolph Lovecraft, I was like, okay, nope, that's not. Okay, it's just Howard. It's older Howard.
Yeah.
There we go.
Try a little harder, bud. Try a little harder.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to understand that they were saying the word night gaunts to refer to those creatures? Because it took me half of the movie.
I had an advantage because I always watch things subtitled, so I saw what it said right then.
I thought it to me it kept sounding like they were saying night gods, and I'm like, those little imps with tiny little wings are not gods. What is? No. They reminded me of like a mix between like back when we were kids. These are both old references. Do you remember the tabloids with Bat Boy?
Yeah,
on them, and I think they thought Hillary Clinton gave birth to Bat Boy or something. So it reminded me of a mix between Bat Boy and those little gargoyles from Chrono Trigger that do the little jazz move, like they shuffle back and forth. It was like a mix of that, and I was like, how are you going to call those night gods? Come on. But it was gaunts, like you're gaunt. So
right. Yeah,
I was just wrong.
Yeah.
But it took me half the movie to understand that's what they were saying, because the voice acting was not great for some of this movie.
Did you remember that this was actually the end of the previous movie? Like, it ties directly into it. Yeah.
And I didn't remember the direct end of the second movie, so I was real lost when we started. I should have just rewatched our video, but like I couldn't do it to myself. Again, I've been trying to love myself again, so I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, Howard's practicing his magic, trying to do it kind of privately, I guess.
As you would.
We get a flashback of him meeting Tutu Hamong or Cthulhu, aka Spot. And I guess he saved his life. I don't remember how exactly.
He like fell over like an ice shelf, and somehow little Howard Lovecraft was able to pull up this.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's right.
I don't know, 900-pound.
Got to be a couple tons. Got to be.
Just like 2 times the size of an elephant creature.
Yeah, so we see him save him, and then he owes him a Wookiee life debt. And so he's like, I'm going to call you Master now. That's where the whole Master Howard comes from. Did it ever get to you that every single time they cast a spell, they're like, ooh-ah, ooh-ah?
Bro, oh my God, yes. And I don't think that even came up until this movie. Like, I don't think that happened in the other movies.
I don't remember
in this movie.
So much ooh-ahs.
This was said more than anything. There was more ooh-ahs than actual dialogue in this whole film. No joke. There is like a 10-minute scene later in this film where it's like just like a 10-minute battle scene. Like, think about like, well, Joseph, you've never seen the Harry Potter movies, right?
Nope.
Okay. The last Harry Potter film is pretty spectacular. Giant wizard battle. Like, that sounds pretty awesome, right? Just magic spells all over the place. But lots of dialogue, lots of yelling, and like they say words, you know, like you got Expelliarmus and Expecto Patronum and stuff like this. What if they didn't talk at all through that whole movie and all they said was, hooah, 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 hooah.
Yeah.
God,
sometimes
dude.
they preface it with a few like nonsense words, but most of the time it's just ooh-ah.
Yeah. Dang. This was rough.
I think at one
At
point
least that part was rough.
I think at one point the subtitles were actually like typing out the ooh-ahs, but then they gave up and they're just like spell casting.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's just like whatever.
Yeah.
Spell casting.
So you know how you were talking about Ron Perlman like phoning it in the first one. In this one, Mommy Dearest was very much phoning it in.
Yeah. I want to give credit though to Kiefer O'Reilly, who voices Howard. He was not bad in this movie.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say he's amazing, but he was okay. And he was way better in this one versus like the first one that we saw him in. And he's picking up some work, man. Like he's picking up some actual, like some real acting work. He's going to be in the Mighty Ducks reboot.
Oh, cool.
The live action Mighty Ducks reboot.
Man, good for him.
Yeah. So like dude's going places.
Well, because he had such a big role in all three of them that he kind of had to learn as he went. So that's good. That's good training.
Do you think his dad was just like, hey, I'm going to give out some roles here. Which one of you kids wants to be the main one? And then he lucked out that this is his kid that did the best. Or do you think he singled out his favorite kid? And he was like, you're the star.
But also because like that kid's probably older than the other two. And so it made sense for them to be the Squid
right.
kids.
He is the oldest, I believe.
Okay. So yeah, the mom, like, I don't know what was up. Like the delivery just seemed really weird. And maybe she was just trying to be, she looks like a very like gothic kind of mother, almost like Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
She has that kind of look to her.
All those Lovecrafts look like they are, I don't know, they woke up in a Tim Burton film and showed up here.
And they're just not sleeping well. They all have like dark rings around their eyes. But yeah, so she's delivering it very dry, and maybe that was intentional. I don't know. For some reason, she's like, Howard, I got to tell you something. Like she's already said like, I love you. And then she's just like, I'm going to tell you something your father's books can't tell you. Like, you can't read this. And so she like brings him up, like comes up to his ear and she's just like, I love you. Why was that a big secret?
What makes it the best, and by the best, I mean the worst, is like, we wouldn't pick on this as much, but this is like, unfortunately, the most important part of this movie. And the line was done so bad. And it's the most important part of the movie because this is there's a callback to this that is what changes everything and wins the day, is hearing this line again at the end of the movie. Like, that wins the day for everybody, and it's so bad.
Yeah. This is the line that saves the world.
I love you.
I love you.
I love that so much.
We go outside and we see Uncle Randolph like casting a spell and finding out that the wall between the worlds is breaking.
We should have known right off the bat that he was a Sith Lord. He's using red lightning stuff. Like, he's casting some of that dark magic.
He seemed pretty evil, and I was okay. One thing that I don't know if it's a good or bad thing that it was misleading, but I was thinking he was going to be kind of acting like he was, he had evil intentions for the greater good, but that's not the case. He's just the selfish jerk at first.
Yeah.
So this is when the night gaunts first appear. They're tearing between the fabric. They're tearing through the fabric between worlds, and you can't use magic on them because then it's just going to rupture the world fabric more. The world fabric, the wall between worlds more, and they run back inside, and just because they have runes on their door that blocks, I don't know, other evil entities from coming in.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah. And then they go and visit Dr. Armitage, Mark Hamill, at Miskatonic University. He does get to meet a few other people, though. Not knowing the Lovecraft lore very much, I don't know these characters, but Jaswald Atwood, Dr. Ellen Ellery, and Dr. Warren Rice, and then William Dyer, who is a teaching assistant. So I'm sure those are all characters that exist in that mythos. I'm just not aware of them.
Probably. I don't remember those names. Like, some of them sound somewhat familiar, but I'm not entirely sure of who they're supposed to be. But it might be worth like looking up, though, at some point and kind of seeing who each of them are supposed to be or what stories they come from. I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out. But yeah, what's kind of funny here is they're all like meeting and stuff like that, and sort of talking about kind of the veil between worlds falling apart and some of these creatures getting through and how they're going to deal with that. And they're kind of talking about it from the standpoint of they're going to figure something out while kind of trying to ignore Howard and stuff. Like, they're basically just kind of like, why is he even here? Like, this is a child and stuff. Well, Howard just starts name dropping all these baddies he's run into in the past. And like, they are losing their minds, like not in a happy way. They're just like, what? Are you serious right now? Like, they're getting so mad about it.
Yeah. And the teaching assistant, William, was really jealous. He's just like, what? You've been to another dimension? You've been here? He's like, yeah, it's nothing. Like, they were talking about Azathoth, but then they kept like saying he who will not be named. Like, they wouldn't say his name. And like, oh, I've seen him before. Like, Nerl Hotep showed me. We're buds. It's cool.
They're just like, what?
Oh yeah, and also Cthulhu's my pet.
Oh god, that was fun. Dr. Armitage is just like, oh god. The one thing I did like is how they talked about the idea of this. Well, they originally referred to it as a dimension, then they kept calling it a planet. So I'm not sure what it is, but Varu. But I like the idea of this world that is complete madness, and like time doesn't mean anything and physical space doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
And that is how Howard's dad went nuts in the first place, is that he, with some experiments with Dr. West, ended up in Varu, and that's what caused him to kind of lose his mind, because he was exposed to that and was exposed to Cthulhu for the first time. And that is kind of what, I guess, kicked everything off in the first place of why everything in this series is happening. So basically the idea is, well, we got to go talk with Dr. West again, see if we can figure something out. And basically they need to get back to Varu again. Varul.
Yeah, because, okay, so there's the different planets. There's Earth, which is under the kingdom of Ryleth, which is the Frozen Kingdom.
Relay,
which is under the Frozen Kingdom. And then there's the one that's over the undersea kingdom. I can't remember what it's called. Is it Yugoth?
That might be it, Yugoth.
Yeah, Yugoth, because they destroyed that one that had the fish people on it from the last movie we watched.
They killed them.
Right. Yeah, so there's Earth, Yugoth, and then Varul. And then there's those like kingdoms that are over them. Frozen Kingdom, Undersea Kingdom, and then the Kingdom of Madness. We'll just call them by those names. So I don't have to remember all the planet names.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Woo.
A lot going on. And I see why it needed to be a trilogy, but it got just really kind of confusing for me sometimes because it was trying to tie it all back together.
Yeah. Jeez.
Because they were just throwing these names out like they're just common words or commonly known planets. Like, wait, what? Is it a different dimension or is it just in space somewhere? I'm not sure.
Some of it was very loosely tied together too. Like, I don't know, man. I like Lovecraft stuff. And I love when people do new stuff with it, but some of it was a little too shoehorned for me. So Dr. West's lab was, and apparently is, still in Antarctica. So that's where they go. Now, what I liked about this is they combined a lot of different Lovecraft kind of stories for this one. So they combined, obviously, like we talked about before, the idea of like Reanimator is like the movie that you really like. But basically that story and also the Mountains of Madness were kind of squeezed into one sort of plot point here because this is in like this cold mountainous region and stuff like that. And then the creatures that are described from the story of Mountains of Madness show up here.
Yeah.
Along with the Night Gaunts.
And we do get, for the Reanimator plot, we get the resurrected sea captain.
Oh, that was fun. That was like, that scene was probably the most fun I had in this movie.
I did like that scene.
Was the idea of Herbert West reanimating that sea captain and stuff. That's just fun.
Just as a butler, yeah.
Yeah, Herbert West is the son of Dr. West, so he's still a kid, kind of like Howard is. He's a little older than Howard, and he's just kind of messing around.
What I liked about them, before you go on, getting to Antarctica was, first, Howard and Randolph had to stow away on this blimp that they're flying, or what do they call it? They didn't call it a blimp. It was a Derringer or something like that.
I don't know. I mean, to me, it's a Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Zeppelin,
basically
blimp.
A Zeppelin. Only going so fast, and it's going to take them, Howard calculates, 3 weeks to get there. And I was like, okay, well, now that Howard and Randolph are here, maybe they're going to use some magic to get there faster. And like, no, we can't do that because we'll rupture the veil between worlds, so we can't use our magic to teleport. So we're just going to write it out. So I guess it took them 3 weeks to get there.
I guess.
It fast forwards through it, but it's like, wow, I thought they were going to have like some cutover where they're doing something else to get there faster. But no, they just sat there for 3 weeks and hung out.
Could you imagine if they did keep that in the story? Like it's just a montage of them like doing nothing.
See, a montage would have been fun.
And like, since those two were stowaways, you know that they didn't bring enough food for all those people. So one thing that I didn't understand here, and I thought maybe I missed something, but I didn't feel like rewinding and going back to see what I missed. So they get here and they start getting attacked by creatures that have pierced the veil. Oh, first of all, Howard just straight up kills some stuff.
Oh, he uses some death spells, and they call it by that. They say death spells.
Oh, yeah, he straight up kills things. And they got cool Tesla wands to kill things, too, which is fun. I liked those. But then they run to these vaults for safety, and this is the part I didn't understand. Like, this vault has been there, like, the whole time, right? This is part of Dr. West's, like, place. This isn't a new place to him. But he gets in there and he's looking at something like he's never seen it before. And I'm like...
That statue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, you live here. That would be like me acknowledging I have a basement and then going down there and being like, oh my goodness, look at this cabinetry. I need to read this inscription on here. Like, don't you think you would be like, bro, this is your place. Like, you live here. You're down here every day. I'm so confused by this scene, man.
So fascinating.
I mean, the place looked cool. The design was awesome for this area.
It was.
But I didn't understand any of this.
But I think he was just trying to present it to them as a new thing because they hadn't seen it
like
before.
he's trying to be mysterious.
Yeah.
Like,
Ooh.
ooh, and look at the statue over here. Oh my goodness, let me read this inscription. If that's what he's doing, what an idiot.
Well, we see him like in the flashback where he's with Winfield and Howard. Well, Winfield, who's Howard's dad.
Well, he basically tries to end the world.
Yeah, because they first open this portal and they see, I guess, Cthulhu or a similar monster coming out. Winfield's like, all right, we got to close this. Like, this is crazy. Or no, there was another guy there too. Who was the other guy?
Yeah, Dr. Armitage
Dr. Armitage is there. Yeah, they're both like, dude, we got to close this. Like, what are you doing?
He's like, nah.
And he's like, no, I'm going to make it bigger. Like, we got to get this thing out here. It's like, dude,
yeah,
you're
he's like,
insane.
I got to see what this is.
Yeah. So he tries to like stop them from, closing the gate, but Dr. Armitage uses some magic and like close or like basically blast those Tesla coils that are keeping it open. But it's like, why would you ever like trust this guy again? He almost ended the world by himself.
I was wondering that too, of like, why do they trust him at all when he did try to end the world? And now they want his help to try to save the world from Cthulhu, which he tried to bring into the world in the first place.
Right.
I don't get it. And then why is he suddenly like gung-ho about helping them not bring Cthulhu into this world all of a sudden? I don't understand what's going on with this plot or story.
Then they're talking about like these dimensions occupying the same space and they're parallel to each other. And that's where it's like, all right, so they're not on different worlds. They're just different dimensions that are on the same plane, which I guess makes sense if you are going to try to make any sense of it.
If you do want to give me a headache, yeah, we can talk about that. They get to this chamber where you can access these dimensions. And we did see this in the last movie, or at least a chamber like this, which is how Howard got to the Undersea Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And like Spot, aka Cthulhu, aka Tutu Mung, is like just chilling there. He's just like, hey.
No, he comes out of nowhere. Like Randolph is just like, hey.
Randolph's like, hey, look who I found.
Yeah, hey, I brought Spot. It's like, where was he?
He's just there.
Yeah.
Why not? I was confused here too. Like I felt like I missed something here, but now the more we talk about this movie, I feel like I didn't miss anything. And that I'm just trying to give the movie more credit than is due. But it was kind of just like, for some reason, they're like, we got to get to Vrul. And Howard's like, well, I want to go. And Spot's like, well, then I'm going with you. And they're like, no, he can't go because if he goes to Vrul, he will turn into actual Cthulhu and end everything. But then older Howard is just like, we're going to make that happen. And if you don't, I'm going to murder little Howard. And he like scoops him up and like is like holding him up in the air. And it was just such a weird scene. And then like Dr. Armitage and little Herbert are like slinging stuff at Spot, who's trying to go through the portal with them. And like, they're like, oh man, they're just boiling Spot's skin piece by piece, man. It's gross.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was weird. Yeah.
I did like to see though Herbert West like throwing those basically vials of acid, but I don't know where he was keeping them all because that's all he did. That was his.
They were endless. It was endless. It was like an endless buffet of, I think what he said, it was like a solution that causes a necrotic disease. Quick working necrotic disease.
Necrotic damage.
But Spot's body was overcompensating and healing very rapidly.
Yeah, healing faster than they could do damage to him. Dr. Armitage wasn't doing any damage with his blast.
Right. And I'm like, since when is that something that Spot can do?
Since a necessary plot point.
Yeah.
They're fighting him. At this point, I'm thinking like, okay, it's got to be a bluff because he's got some bigger plan to stop like Azathoth or stop Cthulhu in his tracks or something. I don't know like what his plan is here, but I'm like, okay, maybe there's something bigger that's going to be unveiled that's going to make sense to me. When they finally get to Vrul, it's not as crazy as like they are making it out to be, where up is down and left is right or whatever.
It's just basically, like, it looks like it's supposed to be Mars. It's
there's
just a red
but there's just some like weird fires everywhere. That's about it.
Yeah.
Randolph confesses to him finally, and it's just like, okay, yeah, we knew this. He's like, hey, Howard, I'm you from the future. All that I want is to save myself by merging myself with you so I can become a younger version of myself and relive my past as an 8-year-old or whatever, while simultaneously ending the world. That's where I was like, but I don't, what is your end game here? Because even if you take over Howard's body, you can't do anything. Like, you're not able to,
because the world's gone.
You've already admitted that you can't stop this. So what are you trying to even do?
And then Kylo Ren shows up.
Oh, yeah.
Or, Nyarlathotep in his Kylo Ren voice now. I don't remember if he had Kylo Ren voice in the last movie, but he sure did in this one.
I think he did.
He sounded really scary, though. I might give him that. I liked it.
Yeah, he sounded good. He was a compelling character. I don't think he looked like as scary as he sounded, though.
He looked kind of stupid.
He was like a mummy and a lot of like Egyptian type dressings about him, like even with the hood and everything on.
Yeah.
But even in the other movies, he was just like some hooded, mysterious figure. So it wasn't like much of a change. Yeah, so he's there trying to awaken the destroyer of worlds, who is Cthulhu. And so in the process of doing that, we get to see him finally destroy Yugoth that's under the Undersea Kingdom.
Oh, yeah, the Undersea Kingdom.
Right.
Yeah, Cthulhu destroys it by breathing green smoke.
He breathes green smoke on it. But I guess the cool part is we get to see like the reaction of the 2 or 3 things that are there that they can afford to put in there. Yeah.
That like look up into the air and they're just like,
oh man.
And then it just, that's all you see.
Then it just blows up.
I thought we were going to see like the world explode or something, but it didn't do anything.
It didn't explode. It just like changed colors. It's like, well, they're dead, I guess. That's also when we're getting to go inside of Howard's head, because that's where Randolph
this is the
gone.
Crazy scene where like this is the not for kids anymore.
It is like a living nightmare in Howard's mind, because there are bodies falling onto a pile of other bodies that are in a giant hand.
Yeah.
These 3 figures kind of strewn together or sewed together or something, hanging by one of their legs. It's like bouncing up and down. It's
like
so
these
weird.
naked bodies like being dangled around and stuff. And there's like bloody eyeballs spinning around in hands and things like that. And it is not for kids. Like, this was weird.
Oh, you know what? You know why he did it? I was just remembering. The reason he did it in the first place was so he could get that silver key. Because Nyarlathotep, he promised to give him that silver key if he would bring Cthulhu or bring Spot to him so he could awaken the sleeper and destroy Yugoth. And so, because he was like, the price that Yugoth had to pay was terrible, but at least I got this cool silver key that lets me unlock Howard's mind and go into it. So that's kind of why he did that, was so he could take over Howard's body. But I guess I still don't understand like how he planned to benefit from that, unless he just didn't expect Cthulhu to also destroy Earth.
Yeah, I think that was kind of a miss, because like pretty soon after they realize that is exactly where Cthulhu's going next, is to Earth to destroy it. And then like older Howard and young Howard, while they're talking, he has that realization. Well, I guess it's actually because like they're having that argument thing in their head. That's where the mom line comes back.
Yeah.
Of like, I love you. And then Howard's like, whoa.
Oh, I needed to hear that, Mom. Thank you. He was so happy just to hear I love you again. And it was like the decision to destroy Earth right after Yugoth was mere seconds. It wasn't even like they thought about it. It's just like, okay, now let's move on to Earth. It's like the fact that older Howard didn't think this through was just really kind of a miss, I guess, for someone who's supposed to be, really intelligent and has been alive for however many years. You would think he would know better.
Yeah. So they go back to Relay, which is the thing on Earth. And because they know that that's where Cthulhu's going to first show up to start destroying stuff, you get to meet up with the Squid Kids. And then a battle is going to ensue, and they get everybody here and they're like, okay, cool, let's start fighting stuff. So Nyarlathotep brings all of his goonies. They're all fighting. Big Cthulhu shows up, and I'm going to give him this. Cthulhu is pretty scary looking. Like, he's now gigantic. He's very stone looking.
Those red eyes.
Red eyes, the music that they play when he's there is pretty eerie, honestly. It's pretty spooky. So like that's kind of cool. But then it's like the 10 minutes of just going wah wah wah.
I mean, there are some cool scenes in there. Like at one point, Herbert West gets eaten by one of the creatures, one of the Shoggoths, and is able to like get the thing to throw him up because because of his unlimited like necrotic formula that he has with him. There were some other scenes because there's one of them is this big Scottish guy who is wielding a giant hammer. I don't know if it's because I just can't understand Scottish well or something, but this guy, I couldn't understand a word he was saying. Maybe that was intentional, but it took me back to Duckula with the Scrooge McDuck vampire that was in it.
That guy was, it was also voiced by Scott McNeil, I believe.
Yeah, but it's like, are they playing it so that you don't understand them? Like, is that the humor to it? Or are you supposed to understand them and I just don't?
I believe so, because it is kind of a joke that you can't understand Scottish people.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard James McAvoy talk in his normal voice?
No, not really.
Oh, man. It's pretty good. There's a really good Saturday Night Live bit of him as an air traffic controller speaking in like his native accent, but like, I mean, I'm sure he is embellishing it a lot and like no one can understand him. It's pretty good. It's pretty fun.
See, I think it would have played better than if anyone had actually said they couldn't understand him, but everyone else was just acting like, okay, yeah, it's normal. I get this guy, I hear exactly what he's saying.
No, I get that.
I just felt like, okay, maybe I'm just missing something.
I've never been able to get into any of the fights in any of these movies because the animation quality is not great in these films. And it's not just design. Over all three movies, we have picked the design apart. But like, if we're looking at the actual animation of the characters and stuff like that, they don't animate physics well at all. And in fact, like if somebody gets hit, one, there's not a whole lot of sound of impact, which doesn't help their cause. But two, there's obviously no ragdoll type physics to this stuff. It's like, someone can get hit with a huge punch, but it feels more like a light tap visually.
Yeah. Half the time, it's like you're not even sure if they're connecting. Like, yeah, when they're hitting them,
it's the most underwhelming style of dispute you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah, it really takes me back to Reboot.
Reboot somehow did it way better than this. But yeah, and I don't know how.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, even with the same limitations, even though that was 95 or whatever versus 2018, it's like they just took whatever software they were using back then and tried to replicate that. I don't know. Or VeggieTales even. Like, this feels like VeggieTales.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's very on level with VeggieTales type stuff. So
animation aside, because we could talk about that for the whole rest of the episode. We've got the fight, and predictably, they're just like, all right, Howard, you're the only one who can stop Cthulhu. Like, you gotta remind him that he's Spot and he's not evil or the destroyer of worlds.
I like how this plays out, but I like it just from like a me being a terrible person perspective.
Why?
Well, it's just because they're just like, hey, like only you can get through to Spot and remind him. And he does, but Spot's still like, hey, kill me, basically.
Yeah.
He's like, because he remembers Howard falls from a tower. He still reaches out, catches Howard in his hand, but he's just like, use the elder sign, kill me.
Well, yeah, like I was thinking he was going to turn back into Spot and it was going to be a happy ending, but instead he's just like
for like a split second.
Right, for like a second.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, he changes back just long enough to tell him to use the elder sign and the Necronomicon on him.
Did you think it was going to be a big spell or something though?
I didn't know what to expect, honestly.
It was so stupid and underwhelming to me.
But I appreciated when he threw like Howard off of him and then just like grabbed those two things and kind of like squeezed them together in his fists and brought them like to his chest to annihilate himself, essentially, which he did. And Howard was real sad about it.
Died.
Yeah, he did die. And Howard was sad about it for a minute until
good old minute.
For just a minute until they go back to Miskatonic University. Howard's still sad, but then Dr. Armitage is like, we want to continue your training. And he's like, you want me to come to Miskatonic? Then he's like way excited and happy for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
We get to him going back home, and then it's just like a really underwhelming play out of the movie where, first, HP, he's calling him now, older Howard, has to go back home, and he says he's going to continue his writing and hopefully get something published. Like, he's Lovecraft, so
he gets Thanos snapped. He just turns to dust.
Oh yeah, and then he just like disappears like instantly. Not even a fade. He's just like boop. They just took him out of the frame.
Really, it was just dust. Poof.
Yeah. I was expecting a long fade or something as he said goodbye, but no, he's just gone.
I was expecting him to walk through a portal or something.
That could have worked.
Dust.
Ashes to ashes. So he goes back home, saying he's kind of sad right now, saying he misses his friend. And then his family is just like, at least we have each other. And then they start joking around and laughing to the end of the movie. Did you watch post credits?
I did.
Okay, good.
I'm really happy about this too. I'm only happy about it for one thing. So like we see, even though like part of the reason that all this happened is Howard's fault in the first place because he kept practicing magic and was thinning the reality there. He's still doing it. He managed, I guess, to summon a baby Thulu.
Yeah.
Like little baby Thulu in a little onesie. Oh my God. It is so cute.
Yeah.
And now I've forgotten all about Baby Yoda. I want a baby Thulu.
It leaves it open to where there could be more with the baby Thulu, which...
Let's hope not.
Well, he casts a spell. Like, first he checks to make sure nobody's watching, like, which is suspicious already.
As you do when you're alone in your room.
He just, like, opens up all these spell books and they start piling up and is finally able to summon baby Thulu. And that's where the movie ends. And it's like, oh, I see what you did. Leaving it open. Boy. But I don't know if anything else is going to come of it, but at least there's a chance.
How old is Howard? I think they said he's like 8 or something.
Yeah, 8.
8-year-olds and their desire to be a single father just never gets old.
Well, Chris, it looks like it's about time we send our inner kids to enroll in Miskatonic University, have them learn a few spells, and then try to merge with them to reobtain our youth, but with sweet magical powers. Then, while we struggle with them in their terrifying mindscapes, see what they thought of Howard Lovecraft and the Kingdom of Madness.
This cartoon was way darker and creepier than the other ones, which makes it more fun, but the fights are so boring that I barely even remember them. So I gave this cartoon movie thing 2 bowls of hooah cereal out of 5.
What can I even say except we're done. We're finally done. Our task is over. The trilogy is complete. How do I feel? Man, kind of empty. Here's a story based on Lovecraftian mythos with so much potential that I really think could have been a hit. Maybe this is something meant more for diehard Lovecraft fans, but as a casual fan myself, it did not make me want to dig deeper. Conceptually, I liked the premise, some of the characters were interesting, and the inside of Howard's mind was pretty twisted. Where it falters for me is just about everywhere else. Overall, I'd give Howard Lovecraft and the Kingdom of Madness 2.5 big bowls of Master Howard Munchie cereal out of 5, and wouldn't mind this being destroyed first once the sleeper awakens.
Your inner kid's feeling pretty savage today, apparently.
Well, I mean, I rated it just like I did the other one. If you want to go back and listen to episode 154, I think it was, that was the Frozen Kingdom we reviewed. And I gave that a 2.5 as well, because I do think the concept is interesting. I think that had it had better animation, acting, and writing behind it, and maybe just a screenwriting. I've never read the graphic novel, so maybe it is stronger in that format.
No.
Oh. Well, then, better animation, acting, and writing. And I think it really could have been cool because there were some scenes that, had they been animated better or acted better, would have been really interesting because they were mildly interesting even with all those things against it. So I think there's potential there, which is why I kind of cut it halfway for me.
I think my biggest problem with this film is that this being the third part of this trilogy is they had 2 movies to correct mistakes and learn and improve, and they didn't do it. There was little to no improvement in the animation at all. A lot of the voice acting had no improvement at all. You can tell who's professional, like people like Mark Hamill and stuff like that. And even if it isn't Mark Hamill, people like you've got Finn Wolfhard, who is an actor, but not typically a voice actor. I mean, he is now because now he's in a Netflix series, but there's so many places that they could have made more effort to improve and they just didn't. And to me, that just says laziness, and like, I don't want to tear at the creators or anything of this, but like, I feel like they've got a really great idea. Like, I think this series is such a cool idea. I just think they could have done so much more with it. Kind of like you were saying, like they could have taken this so much farther. This could have been more polished. It feels like an unpolished idea. I think in one of the first, maybe it was the first movie or something like that, we said this feels like an unfinished video game cutscene that we're watching.
Yeah, before the textures get added.
Yeah, before the textures are added, and that it kind of feels like, they're someone's just reading lines to show off the animation, stuff like that, and then they're going to have someone come in and re-record the lines later. I mean, it feels that way a lot of the times, and I feel like it's kind of a shame in some ways because there was so much potential and there's so many cool things they could have done. I just wish that they would have tried a little bit more with it. But there are some cool things to be found in it. I think there are some neat things for kids, but unfortunately in this one was lacking quite a bit. And there is that weird dive that they do take where kids should not be watching it, honestly.
Yeah. Dead bodies falling from the sky.
I just want to know, like, what decision was made there where they thought that might be a smart idea for a kids movie.
Where it was literally raining men.
Yeah. That was so weird. It's raining men.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement with everything you're saying. I think we're on the same page, really, where there's potential. It just wasn't executed well. And I was hoping as we moved through this that we would see improvements. But like you said, like not even the animation was improved. And that's like the core of it. It almost seemed like they were made back to back to back and then just edited separately.
Yeah, I kind of wonder about that if that's what happened and that's why there was no improvements made. Well, I don't think that is the case. I don't think that is what happened because, to be honest, I do think that Kiefer O'Reilly did improve. I think he's the only one that did.
True.
And his voice definitely did change from the first movie.
Yes,
as he got older.
You're right.
Yeah. So you can definitely tell he developed and he got older and he was actually trying and honing his craft. And I think, honestly, him and some of the somehow, I don't know how they snagged them, but some of the others like Mark Hamill and them, I think they carried this on their shoulders, to be honest.
Yeah, Mark Hamill, Jeffrey Combs,
Doug Bradley, Christopher Plummer.
They did carry it. And, good for Kiefer O'Reilly. Like, I'm glad to see that he's moving on to other things, like you were saying.
Yeah, I think he did do a good job. And I'm excited to see what this kid does with his career because I think he's got a shot at really becoming something. So kudos to him. I'm glad that he's going to branch out and do more. I just wish this would have been more.
and I'll say what I think I said about the first one, which is it was better than Panda Warrior.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's fair. That baby Thulu, though, I really want like a pop figure or a plushie or something. I need some sort of baby Thulu.
I would love to see just like like a short of like the misadventures of Howard and Baby Spot.
What if it's like a little older Howard? Like this is now like sort of preteen Howard. Maybe he's like 10-ish or so. And he's got little baby Thulu with him getting into some mischief. That might be fun.
Howard as a 10-year-old, but a single father.
That sounds like the next MTV show. Like, I'm pretty sure MTV has done this already.
Probably.
Like 10-year-old single fathers, for sure. They need a jazzier name than that, but it's
10-year-old single fathers, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listeners, it looks like our blood supply has now run dry, so it's time for us to say goodbye.
And in 2 weeks, now that we're done with our Octoonber celebration, we'll be watching
16, suggested via Instagram by Rico Mortis.
I like that name. Not 16, but Rico Mortis. That's pretty cool.
Rico.mortis.
That's awesome. But okay,
Yeah.
So it's 16, like the number 16?
Nope. like the number 6, but then the word teen.
Huh.
This was voted to the very top of the list, and it has been at the top of the list ever since we deviated away to do Octoonber.
Oh, wow.
People have been voting for this, and it has been up there for at least a month.
I wonder if this is one of those mysterious Canadian cartoons that I never heard of.
It is a Canadian animated sitcom.
Is it really?
Yes.
Hilarious. Okay.
It is one of your mysterious Canadian shows.
Called it.
So there you go.
All right. Well, 16. And I'm going to have trouble saying it
16.
without saying 16.
Yeah. How do we say 16 or do we say 16?
You have to pause.
But how it's written, there's no pause between the number and the word
Wait.
teen.
Like there's no space?
No space at all.
What?
So you say it as 16, I think.
This is blowing my mind right now. This is like how I feel about PetSmart. Do you know PetSmart? Do you have
Yeah.
PetSmart over there? You say it like pets and then Mart, but it's actually Pet Smart.
Really?
The way it's color coded, the PET are red and then the SMART are blue. So it's Pet Smart. It's not PetSmart.
I don't like this. I have a headache.
Are we on for rule? Up is down and down is up.
Make this end.
Once again, I'm Joseph.
I'm Chris for now. I don't know.
We'll see you in 2 Saturdays.
Presented by Nerdsloth.
A place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.